Hey everybody, Pat Mesiti. A little bit of a different scenario today. Thought I'd come to you from outside, and sorry about the glare, but look, the message is what's important. And last night, to my shock and horror, I watched a deceitful president, a comatose, mumbling, stuttering president put the world at risk. I think Biden's trying to be a tough guy, but what he actually is doing is admitting, and he did on various occasions, how many trips he personally made to the Ukraine. Now I want everyone, and even the fact checkers out there, to listen to what I'm saying. I am not saying that what Putin is doing is right. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is President Biden, with his son, have a lot to answer for. I want you to consider this. Number one, how many times did he mention that he visited that place as vice president, and at other times? For what reason? For what reason was Hunter Biden paid millions of dollars by the Ukrainians? Currently, right now, as it stands, and I think my figures are correct, over $80 billion has been injected into the Ukraine. America is struggling economically. People can't even buy basic needs, and yet Biden flies on this stealth mission under the radar, pretending that there's some alarm going on. For what purpose? And then the fool of a man that he is pokes the bear. You poke the bear, and then you bait the dragon. You all know who I'm talking about here. Zelensky, who doesn't even have the decency to dress like a president, and just remember the guy's an actor or comedian. I'm just concerned here. All of a sudden, this guy has become the darling of the world, the darling of the World Economic Forum, and he says, and I quote, he warns China not to get involved as it will drag the world into World War III. Are you completely lost your mind? You got Biden baiting Putin and China. Need I remind you of the history of Biden and his family with China and what they've got over them? This is a NATO war. Question: where are the NATO troops? There are none. Question: is this an American war? You spend billions of taxpayers' money on a war that you don't belong in. History has an uncanny way of repeating itself. Just remember Vietnam. Just remember Vietnam. Sadly, I think it was over 55,000 young Americans lost their lives. Now, they're dragging us into what could possibly be, and many people believe, the beginning of World War III. And no, I'm not being dramatic. Read up on the news. You want to drag China into this? Why would China not support an ally that they've had? That's like telling Australians not to get behind the UK or get behind New Zealand or the United States. Are we forgetting that these people are allies, share the same socialist values, watch this, which Biden is trying to drag us into? Could it be that they really want us to be dragged into a war? Because listen to me, folks, and listen very clearly. Wars are very good for governments and very good for economics. This is very scary what's going on. You poke the bear, you're firing up the dragon, you're pouring billions of dollars NATO's nowhere to be seen. NATO's chief of NATO just beats his chest. And the world is on the brink. Biden keeps talking about nuclear wars. Are you people crazy? You can't use this rhetoric. You can't keep poking the bear, who I might say is a lot smarter and sharper than you. And if you don't think that Russia has already seen the chess pieces go around the table, they've already factored this in. Sanctions, they've been living with sanctions for 30 plus years. This would never happen under the former president's leadership. There was never one war attributed to a Trump presidency. Now in Australia, I've been telling you and I've told you, they're coming after your super. Well, yesterday, our illustrious treasurer basically says he's coming after your super. Now, I've been telling you folks this for years now, but no one seems to listen. The alarmist or the conspiracy theorist, or Pat's just having a bit of a rant, he's having one of those things. Well, guess what? Your super is in jeopardy if you don't do something about it. Also, on top of that, we have our wonderful, wonderful Prime Minister making all kinds of backroom deals with the Greens to push an agenda which is going to divide our nation further. Oh, and further good news, today, the governor of the RBA has all but committed to another rate rise in your interest rates. These are plans. Now, on Friday, we're having prayer and pushback. I will tell you, it will be on Telegram and Rumble. We've been able to do that, but it will not be on Facebook or YouTube. You must register. I need your help. Previously, we had up to 50 to 100,000 people right across all our platforms. I have invited Senator Malcolm Roberts, Topher Field. I've invited Avi Emily. I've invited Monica Smith. I've invited David Pellos from Church and State. I've invited so many great speakers that can help us. Pastor Marty Mangles, spiritual, political, and otherwise. So that we need to be aware as to what to do. The children of Issachar had understanding of the times to know what we need to do. So this coming Friday, please, I urge you, don't inbox me on that day and say, how do I get on? I cannot answer that. I will not be answering that. I'll be too busy streaming on Zoom. I will put a link in this chat. It will also be on Rumble and also on Telegram. However, if I were you, I would register for the Zoom. Please share the links around. Monica, Topher, Malcolm, Senator Alex Addick, so many others that the list goes on and on and on, and it'll be starting 11 a.m. Sydney time, going on for a couple of hours. And again, it will not be posted up on social media. You're either there getting it or you're going to miss it. Guys, we need to pray. We need to pray. And on the other hand, on the other side, there is a great move happening. There is a great move happening of the Spirit of God on the earth. And as we draw near to these times, I want to encourage you, keep your eyes on the clouds. Keep your eyes on the clouds. I check every day. I go, wonder if he's coming on that one. Keep your eyes on the clouds. And we are not those that lose hope. We know these signs. We know about the Euphrates River drying up. We know what the book of Revelation said about that. When those things start to happen, we need to be astute. And for my friends out there that maybe you're not so accurate on Bible prophecy, could I encourage you, read it. You know, I'm not asking you to be some super spook. I'm not even asking you to convert to my faith. I'm just asking you to be aware and be alert. And Zelensky, I don't know what the heck this guy's thinking. I can certainly tell you he's no innocent. I can tell you that, and neither is Biden. It seems to me that these guys are hell-bent on dragging us into a war, because remember, wars are good for governments and government money. It's always been the case. And by the way, Ukraine is one of the most resource countries in the world. Why aren't they using their own resources? Just asking the question. And I'm not saying what Putin is doing is right. I'm just saying there's something rotten going on. And it's dragging us into something that we don't belong in. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share. All of our links, our Shorby link is up there in our profile. And also I put a link for prayer and pushback this Friday, 11 a.m. Sydney time. It's going to be awesome. Hey, God bless you. And keep your eye on that super, folks. Chalmers is coming after it. By the way, Topher is going to be launching something. Topher Phil's going to be launching something very, very powerful on Friday and speaking to us about Richard Chalmers and what he's doing with our economy, as well as Senator Roberts and Senator Alexander on the digital ID. It's going to be an amazing, amazing day. Be there. It'll change your life. God bless you.